Hey guys, welcome back to Professional Weekenders YouTube channel. Today we're here in Boston, and today we're going to take a quick cruise of the Boston Harbor. It's going to be so much fun, so make sure you stick around, check it out, hit that subscribe button, and let's go.
Let's go. Alright y'all, like Bo said, we're here. We are still in Boston having the best time. Link down below for our last video where we were right over in that building at the New England Aquarium, and we got to see all of our fish friends, so that was cool. And if you know anything about us, you know we love being out in the water, so link down also below for our other channel for our Weekenders on the Water, where we cruise around Tampa on our jet skis. So that being said, we're hopping on this cruise, little Boston Harbor City cruise, and gonna check out the things.
Yeah, we're gonna go check out the harbor.
The harbor. Let's see some cod in the harbor. Alright, that's gonna get us trouble. So, alright. What else are we gonna see? Do you know anything about it?
We're cruising around the harbor.
Okay. Make sure you know when we get on, and he'll tell you all the good stuff.
Again, we're not sponsored by City Pass, but we're doing a lot of City Pass things. It's just find it to be a good deal, and like to give you an idea of how you can save some money when you visit a new place, new city. We bought our City Pass tickets online. They were $79 per person, and that gives us access to 4 different attractions, including the aquarium, which we visited earlier, the Boston City cruises here. You can make reservations in advance, but tickets for this are normally $40 per person, so that's half of your City Pass right there. Basically, you still get 3 other attractions for the other $40. So it's a pretty good deal. And yeah, so once you get the City Pass, you don't have to check into the kiosk here. We're just going to have to check in at the boat. They say that you want to be to the boat dock about 15 minutes before it departs.
Cool.
And if you're here less than 5 minutes before it departs, they're leaving without you.
Oh, wow.
All right, so we got a couple minutes before we can start boarding, but in the meantime, we're gonna just take a quick stroll down the pier here and see what we can see. And I can tell you, I do love the architecture of Boston. Everything's so like old colonial style. It looks so quaint. At the end of the pier here, they do have these free viewing scopes too, so you can peer across and see what's going on the other side of the bay.
Yeah. Over there's the airport, and I can see air traffic control.
Oh yeah. Just saw that. Yeah, there goes the airplane taking off.
With that, we're gonna fight. All right, and straight to the top. Lewis found the perfect spot.
Oh, you just gotta come up here and you gotta do your Titanic pose, right?
Is that it? Okay. Alright guys, so we're all on the boat. Let's see what we can see. I'm a top deck girly, so maybe we'll go to the top. No, we'll see.
Alright, and just like that, we're underway.
Let's go.
Alright guys, so we're starting our tour here by pulling out of Long Wharf. Long Wharf was built in 1710. It used to be 1/3 of a mile long, which is where it got its name. It used to stretch all the way down to the Massachusetts Capitol building, but has since been shortened through land reclamation efforts, where they've actually filled in the land between the wharfs. This is also the wharf where the British evacuated following the Revolutionary War. Alright, and as we continue our tour here, our next sightseeing opportunity is the Northern Avenue Bridge. This is a turnstile bridge, which is stuck in the open position. It is going to be demolished here soon, but in the meantime, it is an interesting bridge to check out. And just beyond that is Griffin's Wharf. That is actually the location where the Boston Tea Party took place. And we did cover that in a separate video, and we'll link that in the description down below. Next up is the Federal Courthouse. This is where several Boston gangsters have been tried, as well as Aunt Becky from Full House, Lori Loughlin, was tried recently in the college admissions scandal. Next up, we pass South Boston. So this is a newly built part of the town, all built on reclaimed land, and right here in the center of the screen is the Boston Institute of Contemporary Art. This is actually where they host the Red Bull cliff diving competition each year. And to give you an idea of how new this part of town is, that building was built in 2006 and remained the tallest building in South Boston until all the other buildings nearby were built in 2013. Next up, we return to Old Boston as we pass the South Boston Fishing Pier. This is actually the oldest fishing pier in the entire country. And as you can see, it's surrounded by lots of fishing boats. These are called stern draggers, where they actually drag nets behind the boats in order to catch fish. These boats go out 150 miles out into the Atlantic Ocean to catch haddock, cod, and lobster. This is where most of the fresh seafood in the entire city is brought in, right here on this fishing pier. And these unassuming triangular shaped objects are actually the vent tubes for the Ted Williams Tunnel, which is part of Boston's Big Dig. This is actually the poster child for engineering mismanagement here in the United States, with that project running 10 years over deadline as well as $20 billion over budget. Next up, we pass Reebok's World Headquarters. This building actually used to be an army barracks. This is where lots of soldiers and sailors were deployed during World War I and World War II. Now we pass by Boston's Logan Airport. This is one of the busiest airports in the country, and planes either take off or land here about every 90 seconds. Next up, we pass Castle Island. So this used to be home to Castle Williams, which was torn down and replaced by Fort Independence in the 1800s. This also used to be an island, but is now connected back to Maine, Boston through land reclamation efforts. Additionally, this is the place where Edgar Allan Poe was stationed and wrote the Cask of Amontillado. Next up, we pass by Spectacle Island. This used to be Boston's landfill, operating for 50 years between 1910 and 1960. After that time, the city of Boston decided to try to clean up the harbor and actually set this island on fire. It burned for over 10 years due to all the trash and all the methane gas on the island. Eventually that fire was put out and the island was covered with dirt from Boston's Big Dig. Now it is the second most visited island in Boston Harbor and hosts lots of nature trails.
Delta's coming in for a landing.
Yeah. And we do have a marina as well with a boat named Nantucket. Did I tell you about the guy from Nantucket? Do you know about the man from Nantucket?
Family Guy.
So this is actually a Nantucket lightship. It was used on the shoals of Nantucket, basically as a mobile lighthouse. Next up, we pass by the old site of Immigration Hall. During the 1840s, this is where a lot of Irish immigrants immigrated into America and into Boston to escape the Irish potato famine that was going on at the time. Due to all that immigration, Boston actually hosts the largest population of Irish people outside of Ireland. Next up, we pass by the Mystic Tobin Bridge. This bridge is painted Fenway Park green, the same color that is used on Fenway Park where the Boston Red Sox play. Next up, we pass by the monument for Bunker Hill. We actually covered this during our Freedom Trail video, and we'll link that in the video description down below if you want to learn more about the Freedom Trail or about Bunker Hill. Definitely recommend you check that out. Next up, we pass by the USS Constitution. This is actually the oldest serving military vessel in the entire world. It's most famous from the War of 1812, when during its battles with the British Navy, the British cannonballs bounced off of its side, leaving the British Navy officers to believe that the USS Constitution was made of iron, giving it the name Ironsides. It's actually made of Georgia live oak. This is a national monument, so unfortunately we were unable to film there, but it is free and a great place to go check out if you're in Boston. Alright, and of course, no trip to Boston would be complete without seeing TD Garden. This is where the Boston Celtics and the Boston Bruins play. Also, we pass by the North End. This is the Italian heritage part of town. Lots of great Italian restaurants here, and right in the center of the screen you can also see the Old North Church. This is where Paul Revere hung the lanterns to alert the colonists that the British were coming. All right, and this is the Battery Wharf Hotel. This is actually where we stayed during our trip to Boston. And once that video comes out, we'll make sure that we link it in the description down below. So in addition to being the location for our hotel, Battery Wharf is also famous for being the location where the first African-American volunteer regiment was stationed before they boarded a ship bound for South Carolina during the U.S. Civil War. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our Boston Harbor tour now. Just know that we didn't cover everything that we learned about during this tour, and we wanted to leave some elements there for you to learn and experience when you take the tour yourself, so we definitely recommend that you take this Boston Harbor cruise when you're in Boston. So what did you think of the tour?
I think the tour was really good. I really enjoyed it. Wasn't too cold, as long as I had my windbreaker on, so that was nice. Learned a lot about Boston in general, so we're going to recap all that for you guys in a voiceover. Hopefully all of this, we remember all this, and yeah, I'd do it again.
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice addition to the City Pass, being, you know, that it was only about an hour long, so it doesn't take all day, which is nice. And, you know, it's like a lot of the history, a lot of the things we keep seeing over and over again, because a lot of the Revolutionary War, I feel like we're back in elementary, high school, all over again. Because yeah, you always cover the Revolutionary War each year, but here in Boston, you just You cover the Revolutionary War each tour.
Every day.
Every day. People in the city probably know a ton about the Revolutionary War, or at least the same, like 4 facts. Boston Massacre, Boston Tea Party, Lexington Concord, shot heard around the world.
The USS Constitution.
Yeah, okay.
Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We had a really great time here. We always enjoy getting out in the water in any case, in any way that we can. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and here's Lewis with the pro tips.
Alright guys, so here are your pro tips for taking the Boston Harbor City Tour. I'd say number 1 is, as we covered, if you want a good deal and you're planning on visiting multiple attractions, definitely recommend that City Pass. Again, it's not sponsored. They did not pay us to say that. Just think it's a good deal, and we always like to save you money where you can and get and offer as much value. Pro tip number 2, make sure that you get a seat facing to the right or the starboard side of the ship, because everything that they cover during the entire tour, they're going to be facing towards the right. And pro tip number 3 is definitely make sure that you dress warm, particularly in the colder months. However warm or cold it is outside on the water, just expect that it's probably going to feel like it's another 10 to 20 degrees colder, so make sure you bundle up and get your layers. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Really help us out. And with that being said, we're out of here, and we'll see you next weekend.
Bye.
Is make sure that you get a seat facing towards the right or the starboard side. Yeah.
Starlight service
yeah.
was alright, yep.
It was 4 years ago. I don't think it was recent.
Well, if you're talking about compared to 1776, it's pretty damn recent.
Okay.
We're filming here, plane.
We had to book our tickets early, or we had to make reservations. Yes.
I get to the airport from here. Can you hear me okay without my... Am I on?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a really nice addition to the City Pass.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Look, Mom, it's a flying highlighter. Immigrated in 1840 to escape the Boston potato famine, and because of this...
The Boston potato famine?
Yeah.
The Boston potato famine.
Yeah.
I can't film it.
You flew to our city.
Oh, well, I can't sit around that. I can't see what I'm doing.
Second most visited island.
Yeah, I know. I realized that as I was saying it, but sometimes I'm just trying to get words out, and I just...
You almost said the old nerd church.